Hello guys, so this week is the promised comparison video between the Great Western Railway Night Riviera and the Caledonian Sleeper. Now, if you haven't seen those two videos already, go check them out on the channel before you even think about watching this. And then come back here and watch it. I've been making some notes on both services and I'm just going to reel off what I've written and expand. So, starting with Great Western Railway, their restaurant car is a lot nicer than Caledonian Sleeper. Sorry Caledonian Sleeper, but your restaurant car is a bit too dark for my liking. That said, I was only in there for breakfast, and so therefore it might have been darker first thing on the morning. I don't know. But I just like the layout of Great Western Railways. The seating is a lot more relaxed. There was a sofa there. I didn't like the bar stools, though. I'm not going to say what I thought they looked like, but I certainly wouldn't want to sit on one. On the same note, Caledonian Sleeper, however, serve food. And when I say food, I mean dinner. Great Western Railway doesn't serve food. They have breakfast and they have light bites, being biscuits and crisps, and that's about it. Therefore, you've got to source food out yourself. That at the same time could be cheaper, because you're choosing where to eat yourself rather than having to rely on the menu prices, which could be extortionate for what you get. I mean, for instance, I had the haggis, steeps and tatties on the Caledonian Sleeper, and that cost me, I think it was about £14 for the portion size. I thought it was a little bit steep, but then that said, I'm having Scottish food in England, so yeah, I sort of let them off on that. Plus, it was nice. It tasted nice. Quality to be expected. Moving on to the bed. GWR wasn't even a single bed. I don't even know what it was. But my duvet was half hanging off. And I had a fight with the mattress protector and the sheet twice during the night. And I'm surprised I didn't fall out of bed, if I'm honest with you, though I was very close to doing so. Their pillows, however, were nice, and if I could find out where they got them from or how I can go and get one myself, I would. Caledonian Sleeper, however, they have different room options. So they've got the classic, the club and the double. Now, I was in the double, but because of the water issue, I ended up having a club room as well for the purposes of the toilet and the shower, and also the sink. Now, the classic room is pretty much the same as the club room, apart from the fact that it's not an ensuite. You have the shared toilet facilities, and you don't have a shower. So basically what I had on Great Western Railways. Of course, with that comes the price. So Great Western Railway price. Great Western Railway, they had two fares. So they had the London to Penzance fare, which was £57.70 with a rail card. And then for the sleeper pass, so the berth, it was an extra £79. Now, it's £79 regardless of whether you have a rail card or not, because they don't accept rail cards for the cabins. Caledonian Sleeper, however, they have one fare. So the price that you see on the website is the price that you get. They don't do the rail card option on the double room. However, they do have rail card options for the club room and the classic. That said, some of the rail cards aren't listed, and therefore they don't accept them. One of which is the 26 to 30 rail card. So bear that in mind when you're booking. I do think that Caledonian Sleeper is a bit style over substance, whereas Great Western Railway, their sleeper train is the price for what you get. £79 isn't too bad from London to Penzance, given where it is, and the fact that it's over an 8-hour journey. The sleeper part of it, though, might be a bit too expensive, given that you only get a standard room and you don't get food. Great Western Railway, the corridor, I don't know if it was me or whether it is true, but their corridor seems narrower than the Caledonian Sleeper. Now, I couldn't really tell this for definite because I had a different backpack, and the backpack that I had for that journey was a little bit wider. The room, however, you couldn't fit, well, you meant to fit 2 people in there, but it would be a very tight squeeze. And I think even Caledonian Sleepers Classic and Club rooms are a little bit wider than the Great Western Railway rooms. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Because I didn't put the Great Western Railway sleeper train up against a classic room. I did it as a double. Even a double would be a bit of a tight squeeze. So, yeah, I don't know if that's me or not. However, Great Western Railway have tables on their trains. Like I said in the Caledonian Sleeper train video, they did have tables, but due to so-called health and safety reasons, they took them out. Now, that's alright if you've got access to the odd suite, because you can utilise the toilet lid to rest on. However, what Great Western Railway have done is they've got the table near the bed, but they've also got the table being the sink cover. Even though the table near the bed was a bit of a pain to retrieve, even I struggled. And the blind was difficult as well. Now, if Caledonian Sleeper had a sink cover, then that could be utilised as a table rather than a fold out table from underneath. It would then eliminate the so-called health and safety issues. As for getting some sleep, the Caledonian Sleeper train was a bit of a nightmare. And when I say nightmare, I mean Edinburgh up over. Bear in mind that I came from London up to Fort William. So, like I explained, at Edinburgh the sleeper splits into 3. Or if you're going southbound, it joins up with the other services from Fort William, Inverness, Aberdeen, whichever one that you're coming from, it joins up with the other 2. And that comes with some movement and noise, which is a bit, it's hard to explain, but it is very annoying when you try to sleep. It does end up waking you up as well. Maybe that's just me being a light sleeper on sleeper trains, I don't know. But Great Western Railway, I only woke up twice during the night. And other than that, it was a smooth run. The only reason why I woke up was because when we set off again, the sleeper train lurched in one direction and, of course, woke me up. But Scottish Tracks are very rough. Sorry, Scotland, but your tracks are crap. Like I said in the sleeper train video. English tracks are much smoother, so therefore coming down Cornwall, it's a lot better ride. As for the freebies, well, Great Western Railway give you chocolate, green and blacks. I've not tried green and blacks, so I don't know what it's like. And they also give you 3 bottles of water. Now, Caledonian Sleeper, yes, they give you water, but they also give you a sleep kit. So that sleep kit is basically an eye mask and earplugs, which I ended up using on the Great Western Railway Sleeper. And it helped. Now, if I didn't have those, I don't think I would have got much sleep. So, Great Western Railway, something to think about. Also, in the rooms, Great Western Railway have proper light switches. And it wasn't difficult for me to figure out which one was a light switch and which one was the call button. So, no, the call button did get pressed. However, Caledonian Sleeper, all they've got are buttons. And yes, the room that I was in, the host button was down the other end of the bed, but trying to figure out which button belonged to what when you're half asleep wasn't exactly easy. Also, Great Western Railway, the ceiling lights weren't as bright, which was nice. Caledonian Sleeper was a bit too bright for my liking, especially when you've just woken up. I mean, yes, you can dim those lights, but dimming the lights is the last thing I want to think about. And also, Great Western Railway's ceiling lights had a nice feel to it. It wasn't just 2 straight lights. So, out of the 2 then, which one did I prefer? Well, I was thinking about this while I was filming the Penzance video, and I thought, well, if there was a sleeper train that put elements of Caledonian Sleeper and Great Western Railway Night Riviera together, then I think that would be my ideal sleeper train. But for the rooms, I think I prefer Great Western Railway. Okay, yeah, the bed's a bit narrow. But for the restaurant car, I much prefer Caledonian Sleeper. Even though GWR have a nicer restaurant car. Though, I think overall, if I had to pick one, I would go for Great Western Railway. Sorry, Caledonian Sleeper. But I think Great Western Railway wins this one. Though, that's just my opinion. If you've been on both sleeper trains or if you've seen both of my videos, which one did you prefer? Did you have a favourite? Which one did you not like as much? Let me know in the comments below. As always, guys, thanks for joining me on the last 2 videos. Next week will be Penzance, followed by the rest of my Cornwall trip. If you want to see those videos and not miss out, then hit that subscribe button. It would help immensely, especially just starting out. It's really appreciated. Also, if you fancy buying me a coffee, I know I have tea at the moment, but if you fancy buying me a coffee or helping this channel to grow, then in the description you'll find links to my PayPal and the coffee website. Any money that I do get goes straight back into the channel. And until next week, guys, bye for now.